Hello, everyone. My name is Linda Gundo. I am the CEO and founder of Linda's Perfection Creations. Linda Perfection Creations is an event planning and wedding decor company. We cater to small and large events in and around the Philadelphia areas. We do full service, partial, custom one-off. We do wedding in and out around the tri-state area: Philadelphia, Delaware, New Jersey, Delaware, New York. We also do destination weddings. We do planning in various states, but we want to do planning in decor locally in our surrounding areas as well now. But then again, if the budget is right, we can travel anywhere. I have over 10 plus years of wedding interest. I am a certified wedding planner and a florist. So today, for those of you who are just joining, um, each day I do a video to help DIY brides and just anyone in general who plan the event or have questions in regards to the wedding. These videos to give you a little tips, tricks, and sometimes just life lessons in general, things to expect when you're planning a wedding, and also encouragement to business owners, just life in general. So today I'm going to talk about flowers. And I think sometimes a lot of people overlook flowers. A lot of sometimes people just don't know what the right style, what the right things to do in regard to flowers. So today I'm just going to jump into it, and we're going to start about first thing is that how to choose the flowers. Most traditional and formal is mostly white flowers, and that go with it, tend to give it a romantic, that elegant look, that elegant feels, the candlelight, and so on and so forth. But everybody's styles is different. So for example, if you are doing a wild outdoor, maybe the rustic look, you want to use more wild flowers, something to go with your theme. So your flowers should always pair with the theme if you are using a theme and you're not doing the traditional flowers. You want to make sure that it go with your wedding style. You don't want to use certain flowers that, let's say for example, you're using some catalated and orchids and all these beautiful high-end flowers, and you're just doing something, doing, let's say, a gasket team with it. They kind of just don't go with the flow. It's kind of like off. So you want to make sure that your flowers also pair, and also the colors. You want to make sure all those things actually go along with your wedding. So I'm just gonna jump into some tools that you need to look at and some tricks. So for example, if you're doing for flowers, you want to make sure that the flowers that you pick, which last, especially when you're doing fresh flowers, and I'm talking about fresh flowers now, not artificial. Um, you want to pick the flowers that blooms in the season of your wedding. Yes, you can choose to do other flowers, but the reason for that is that they are more fresher. They are, they last longer, and they are locally grown instead of having flowers that ship out of the country. So sometimes if you are using flowers that are out of season, most wholesale flower shop, most florists will have to order the flowers from out of the country or out of very location just to get the flowers to you. And sometimes being travel, sometimes some might wither, they might not be as fresh as it is. A lot of things can happen with flowers. So you want to be very careful what kind of flowers that you are using. And if you're not quite sure, you can talk to your florist, and they can help you and guide you on what's the right path and what it is that you want to do in regards to your wedding. So for example, if you are doing the evening weddings where um is using a lot of candles, you want to use flowers that go with that, like the white, the pink, and use a color that kind of goes with your ceremonies too. So you don't want to use a totally different flowers theme at your ceremony and then a totally different theme at your reception. It kind of look odd. You want to make sure that every flowers that you use complement. And so ever, and another thing is that if you are in your venue, you want to use a flower to complement a venue. So let's say if you have a flower, you choose a venue that maybe a castle theme, or the architecture feel and the decor. You want everything to kind of represent that theme of the wedding. You don't want to go ahead and do something totally extreme, and then your reception space looks different, and it kind of look out. Now you can always transform a reception space with enough budget, with enough money. You can have wall to wall dripping. You can change your venue style. You can do a lot of things to bring that child. And flower in itself can set the room out. It's the smell, the aroma, the look, the feel. It's one of the things that just set a tone out for your wedding. And the average cost right now for most is about reception, wedding, and flowers. I would say about 10 to 16% of your wedding budget. So let's say if you're doing, a $25,000 wedding budget, you want to make sure at least you save about $4,000 in regards to your flowers. Now, you can do simplicity flowers, you can do cheaper flowers, you can do more greenery to kind of add towards that. But most of the time, when you are doing, your wedding, you want to make sure you have enough flowers, and especially if you don't want to do these tall centerpieces. And a lot of people overlook that, they don't realize that their budget can go as far as maybe $10,000 for flowers or more, because tall centers, you think about, if you're doing a wedding for, let's say, 10 100 people, and you're doing about maybe 8 to 10 tables, you think about the vases, about 5 hours or more labor work for the labor. That's not even including the flowers. You're talking about $2,700 just for labor, and the vases and the equipment, you're talking about 27, a little bit over. And that's so it adds up a lot. So if you paying somebody a florist maybe $3,000, close to $3,000 to your flowers, you're talking about additional maybe 3 to 5. So it adds up quickly. So make sure you have enough money put aside for your wedding flowers budget. A lot of people overlook that, and when it comes to it, it's like, oh well, maybe I can do this and maybe I can supplement it. One thing you got to understand, as florists, we don't have control of the market price. So if you're picking up flowers that are out of season, it's gonna cost you a little bit more. So think about what you want. And sometimes the misconception that most people think that artificial flowers, or silk flowers, I should say, a little cheaper than fresh flowers, and that's actually not the case at all. You can find some flowers per stem, maybe $1 and change, especially if you use a vendor who have a lot of wholesale vendors and know where to go in your area. Make sure you find the flowers, compare with everything, as I always say, compare vendors. Make sure you find the right florists who know how to condition the flowers, who don't just look at the work online, research them, interview them, and make sure that they do, because you you know we don't have control over flowers. What I mean, we can condition it to the best, but sometimes temperature, heat, a lot of things can cause the flower to wither. So if you're working with somebody who don't know how to properly take care of their flowers, you might have some dead flowers on the day of your wedding. So make sure, if you are using fresh flowers and using design, make sure that person know how to, you know, handle those flowers and manage those flowers. And it takes, and one thing I want everybody to understand, a lot of time people be like, oh my God, it's so expensive. The amount of labor that go into making an arrangement, and the amount of labor that go into prepping and making these centerpieces is a lot. So most of the time you are paying for the labor and the cost and the time of anything, because it's a lot of work. So make sure you set a budget to sum it up. Make sure you have enough money set aside for your wedding flowers budget. Scan the market and decide what you want to do. You can do smaller pieces, you can do larger pieces. But if you're trying to plan a celebrity style wedding on a low budget, it's not going to work. If you want some how and large, because sometimes a large centerpiece ball would take about maybe, and it's all based on your style, what you want. It can take anywhere between 30 to 50 flowers based on how large you're, sometimes even more. So if you, sometimes it might cost maybe 400, and you might need 400,000 flowers, and that's a lot. So make sure you have the right budget for your flowers. So yeah, to sum it up, everything that I talk about, make sure you pick the flowers that go with your team. Pick up flowers that are in season. Save budget, enough money to be able to get the flowers you make. Pick flowers that go with your team. Don't pick up flowers if you are doing something totally out of the box. Don't pick a flower that does not go with it, because it will look odd. So talk to your florist. Make sure you figure out, tell them your vision of what is you looking for. Most flowers, as licensed special, do know what flowers go with what, and it can bring your vision to life. Go on Pinterest, have a Pinterest board, start to look at design, look at different ideas that you want, that to see other weddings, there's other ideas that can bring your wedding there. So to sum it up, Flowers are beautiful. It can turn your room up into something magnificent. The wall, when people walk into that room, the decor and everything, it makes it look beautiful. So save money for your flowers. Don't leave your flowers. While you can have a beautiful venue, if you don't have flowers to compare with that, you don't have the right decor, it won't look right. But once again, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can go to my website for more information, www.lyndaperfect.creationsevents.com. Thank you, and you have an amazing day.